uh, Hillary Clinton is not fit to be president. She is not qualified to be president. She never has been qualified to be president ever. I mean, and I don't know how you all feel about her qualifications to do much of anything, but truthfully, if I look back at her history, forget the losing her law license and all that stuff, although she did. Um, if you think about it, she was First Lady of the United States for 8 years, two terms, unfortunately. And she was, for all intents and purposes, the nation's party hostess. I mean, really, that's what a First Lady is. She's the nation's party hostess. She did try to meddle into things that were none of her business, being a spouse and not actually elected to anything. If you remember, she tried to take over health care. Yeah, yeah. But she quickly got the smackdown, and rightfully so. She was not an elected official. She had no business doing any of that. Now, feminists will not agree. The feminism angle of Hillary Clinton is really kind of interesting because Hillary literally is somebody who rode the coattails of her husband all the way up the ladder. And a real feminist would find that to be disturbing, to say the least. The type of feminists that, seem to think Hillary's amazing. Feminists like, Gloria Steinem or Barbara Streisand, these geniuses who apparently have never held Hillary Clinton to any kind of standards that they have spewed on about forever. Think about it. Hillary Clinton was the quintessential stand by your man woman when her husband was, getting blowjobs in the White House, in the Oval Office. For those of you who are sensitive, sorry about, I don't know how else to put it, fellatio, oral sex, whatever, however you want to put it. Bill Clinton was partaking in a young intern that he had power over, which is another thing. I mean, the feminists totally gave Bill Clinton a pass for that also. He had a long history of abusing his power in office. It is what it is. But getting back to Hillary, because she's the most important of the duo, leaving the White House and after showing herself to be the kind of person she is by literally stealing everything from the people's house that wasn't nailed to the floor. And I'm guessing that she probably had a crowbar or two and maybe even had gotten a couple of things that were actually nailed to the floor. Some of you will remember that she was actually made to, the Clintons were actually made to bring several things back. They're literally trailer trash, just white trash. And by the way, I hate to say trailer trash because I know some fine people who live in trailers. The Clintons were not one of them, So then she goes on to become a carpetbagger. She moves to New York and runs for the Senate. And, they basically handed it to her. So she became a senator. Didn't do anything of real notoriety. And now, I don't want to skip things. So then she became a Secretary of State under the Barack Obama administration because... I don't know. Don't know what that was all about. I think Obama was trying to appease the Hillarites because, she was supposed to be the, heir apparent. She was supposed to waltz right into the presidency, and then that, somebody came from nowhere. Barack Obama managed somehow. Shows up literally, if you remember it, nobody knew who he was. He had given a speech at the Democratic National Convention a few years earlier, and now all of a sudden he's the nominee for president. He's the Democrats' nominee for president. It's just amazed everybody, and Hillary Clinton especially. So I think he was trying to appease her voting base, the hardcore feminists, like I said, the ones that apparently turn a blind eye to, she cannot be their idea of a poster child for feminism. She just can't be. It's ridiculous on no matter how you look at it. So anyway, so she becomes Secretary of State under the Obama administration, and that's when the real the real incompetence started to rear its ugly head. She really had no clue what she was doing, none. Well, neither did anybody in the Obama administration, especially when it came to foreign policy. I mean, they literally lit the entire Middle East on fire. That's exactly what they did. They lit the Middle East on fire. They didn't have any idea what they were doing. They were getting lots of people killed, and Hillary was part of that. But, fast forward a little bit, and here comes the re-election of Barack Obama. And shortly before Obama was to get reelected, a little problem happened. They had a Benghazi incident. They had an ambassador killed, murdered. And Obama knew that it was Al-Qaeda that did that. Everybody at that point knew. I mean, the timeline is out in the open now. I mean, Hillary Clinton tries to claim it's fog of war, but you'd have to be an idiot not to see the timeline. So they knew that it was Al-Qaeda. Now remember, Barack Obama had been essentially telling everybody that he had Al-Qaeda on the run. He was the man, the right guy for the job, da-da-da-da-da. Well, when you have an ambassador killed by Al-Qaeda, it doesn't exactly, back your bravado up. So they had a problem. And so they decided, the team, including Hillary Clinton, decided that they would get themselves one of them their patsies. And basically they ran with it. They found this poor bastard that had some problems. He was on probation, and he wasn't supposed to be using the internet. And so he made this video, something about, I don't know, Allah or whatever, the Muslim faith of some. I don't remember what it was called now. And they blamed the whole uprising and the killing of Ambassador Stevens on this poor bastard. Now, understand this. In the middle of the night, which is the way you do things like this, they grabbed this guy, and they put a sleeping or a pillowcase over his head, and they ushered him out and put him in a cell, a gulag somewhere. Nobody was allowed to talk to him, but they got him. They got the guy that was responsible for the ambassador's death. He was responsible for the upheaval in Benghazi, Libya. And Hillary had told the families of the deceased Americans that he would pay. She would make sure of it. That he would pay. The problem is, while Susan Rice and Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama were all spewing this nonsense, they were weaving this lie, this story, this narrative of bullshit. None of that was true. It was not true. And they knew it wasn't true. They knew that this had nothing to do with any video that was posted to YouTube. And as a YouTuber, by the way, that rails against Muslims and the Islamic faith and the Democrats, I mean, it was near and dear to my heart thinking about this poor bastard that had been railroaded. He was being used as a patsy. It was necessary to deflect blame off of Obama because it was the eve of being elected. It was like, a month out? So, ultimately, what Hillary Clinton was part and parcel to was an American citizen. Although a dirtbag. Listen, I'm the first to say that this guy was a dirtbag. But, the truth is the best patsies are dirtbags. You need your patsy to be an unsympathetic type. Somebody that nobody would give a shit about. You need that. That's part of the deal. This guy was the perfect patsy. But what happened was they took an American citizen and they threw him in jail. For over a year, they threw him in jail. This guy to this day is so scared he's not talking at all. But what happened, and I don't know that there's any other way to look at it. You can let me know in the comment section what you think. But what happened was the United States was acting like, under the Obama administration, like a third world dictatorship. They were acting like some despot. Literally taking an American citizen and imprisoning him. He was a political prisoner at that point. although the guy, I mean, from all accounts, the guy's not any worse for the wear, but he still was denied his liberty for over a year because of this nonsense. Now, the people who will argue that will say, hey, well, he broke his probation, so he had to go do a year. No, listen, if you buy that nonsense, do you think for a second the federal government was going to roust this guy for posting a video to YouTube? Really? And giving him a year? Come on. Get real. Hillary Clinton had taken part in an American citizen being arrested and losing his liberty for over a year in order for Barack Obama to get reelected. That in itself, I don't really even care about her emails, although her emails are serious business. That in itself is enough for me not to ever think that she belongs in the presidency. Ever. Unless you think that your president should be allowed to detain and imprison American citizens in order to get reelected, unless that's how you feel, then, which reminds me, by the way, a little off topic, but Rahm Emanuel. Rahm Emanuel, the former chief of staff for President Obama, now the governor, the mayor of Chicago, a town that I used to live in, literally used taxpayer money to pay off a family of a deceased child, 17-year-old kid, who was murdered by the police department. And he did that. He used taxpayer money. He signed off on over a $5 million payoff in order for himself to keep that quiet so he could get reelected. He was in a very tightly contested race, and had that blew up, which it would have, because if you've seen the video, you know what I'm talking about. The kid was murdered. He would have never got reelected, and he knows it. But I'm going to do a whole video on that, because I want you to know where I stand on that and what I feel as far as what I think should happen. And, I've got some interesting things to say about that. But anyway, so back to Hillary. No, she shouldn't be president. She shouldn't even be in the running. In fact, what I love about Donald Trump said she's running for her life. Because if he gets elected, she's probably going to go to jail. See, that's the one thing I want to say. She should be. I mean, the fact that the Obama administration's Justice Department have been slow walking this, and in the end they're not going to indict her. I can guarantee they won't press this issue. They're going to slow walk it. But she should. She literally should. She has broken the law, serious laws. The Benghazi thing was bad enough, and it was bad enough. That was a cover-up to the nth degree. But the truth of the matter is that she has literally broke serious laws. She's put people at risk. She's harmed this nation with her actions, and she can laugh about it. Bernie Sanders can say, "Oh, we're all sick of hearing about your emails," all they want. The truth of the matter is that she has committed a crime that is punishable, and she needs to be punished for that. Hey, listen, if you or I did the same thing, are you kidding me? We'd have went right to jail. Look what they did to the general, Petraeus. Here's a guy that served his country honorably for many, many decades, and in the end, he shared a private, or I should say, shouldn't say as much private, but top secret email with the, I think it was the ghostwriter for his book, and it wasn't even anything all that serious. Who am I to say that? But, in comparison to the shit tons of emails that Hillary let out there. But anyway, I'm not even going to get through that. I think you guys know where I'm going with this. Hillary Clinton needs to be punished for her crimes. And I think that to be the truth. And to be honest with you, for me, it doesn't get any further than Benghazi. It doesn't get any further than her taking part in using an American citizen as a patsy in order for the president to get reelected. I think that is just disgusting. It's just disgusting. So maybe I'll revisit this, but let me know in the comment section what you think. Please share this with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, and whatnot. And yeah, share this video. Hook me up. Everybody take care. See ya!